My name is Bill Gallagher. I am 38 years old from Methuen, Massachusetts. I'm co-founder of Foongatz Studios, kind of a writer-artist combination type of guy. Spider-Man was definitely my favorite anyways. I think I first saw him as a cartoon. My mother bought me a big box of just generic comics. It was a Dr. Doom versus Spider-Man, and I was just blown away by what it was, and I was hooked. I always loved looking at something and trying to either, draw it my own way, or I was always creating something. I am a graphic designer, and I co-own Boston Creative Design with my partner Ron. We pretty much do anything in the graphic world. Logos, websites, truck graphics, signage, anything in the printing world, promotional stuff. So we're a super small company, there's only 3 of us here. We got a few part-timers. My father does the vinyl installs. Ron's mom does all the deliveries. It's a really tight-knit family type of business. Right now we got almost 700 customers that we handle. So it's pretty, it's grown into a pretty big company. But we're trying to keep it small so it's manageable.
My name's Ron Smith. I'm 43 years old, from Billerica, Massachusetts originally, and I'm one of the co-founders of Foongatz. I was in college and he was a teenager, and my father was the manager of the store. And I guess during his interview, either Bill or maybe his mom told my father that he liked to draw characters and comics and things like that. And my dad said, oh, my son likes that same kind of thing. So he put him in the produce department with me, and that's where we sort of got hooked up there.
Okay, so Foongatz was just a name. Foongatz has been around for a long time. It started with my cousins, Mike and Sal, and they're the Italian side of the family. When we were kids, we would hear them talking all the time. We didn't know what the heck they were saying. So we thought they were saying Foongatz, so we would emulate them and say Foongatz, whatever. So it's just something that always followed us. So if you type in Foongatz, all it is us. So it was a perfect marketing name and a fun name that people, usually when they hear it, they don't forget it. And it was just fun. Basically, it's a sci-fi adventure for all ages. We're trying to keep it safe enough for the younger kids where they can really hook onto the characters, and that's why we made them animals and aliens. And on the softer side of things, we do have more adult-looking characters, but we're trying to keep it as an all-ages story, like how Pixar does it.
Where Bill sort of got the wild, boundless imagination, and I try to tie the things that he imagines together a little bit. Where Alex is more of the writer, or me and Bill are more of the artists.
My name is Alex Drynan. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Woburn, Massachusetts, and I'm a co-founder of Foongatz Studios.
We were like in little gangs back when we were younger, and Al didn't want to be affiliated, so he said he was a vigilante. And I was like, what the hell's a vigilante? Like, what 8-year-old says he's a vigilante? So it was pretty funny. But we became super fast friends because we went to his house, and he had more comics than I did. He knew everything about Spider-Man, and so we became an instant friendship, and we pretty much got into the Sam stuff like right after that.
From there, he said, hey, me and Alex are trying to do the comic again. Do you want to get back into it? And I said, oh, yeah, absolutely. So we started having meetings again and talking about the story and the characters and all that, and then actually naming the company and trying to actually create the imprint.
My name is Terry Gallagher. I'm 64 years old, and I'm from Woburn, Massachusetts.
How are you related to Billy?
I'm Billy's mom. When he was about 5 or 6 years old, so he was either in preschool or kindergarten, he drew a picture of a clown. And he brought it home, and I thought, oh, isn't this cute? And I didn't think much of it, and I put it on my refrigerator. A few days later, my sister-in-law came over, and she looked at the picture of the clown and said, who drew this? And I said, oh, that was Billy in school. And she goes, wow. And I said, what? And he has artistic talent. This kid is good. And then I looked at the drawing a little bit closer, and I went, yeah, I guess it is. And that made me realize that maybe I should pay attention. And that's when I started paying attention, and I realized this kid's got something. He's got some God-given talent here. And that's when it started. So I'd say 5 or 6 years old, I started realizing it. These are some of the things that Billy did in his high school art class. This is one of his trucks. This is a very early version. And of course, his ever-fabulous Spider-Man. And this is one of his own characters. This is Soul King. And then we have Bronto. And these are some newspaper articles, and with Alex and Ron and him, and of course Sam is right there in the middle. And this is when they went to debut at a Comic-Con kind of a show in Boston back in 2005. And that was one of the covers. And a lot of the different pictures are on here. And we have Fifi on here and Bronto. And that's Marty the Hermit Crab when he was born. And I was all alone with him in the room, and everybody left, and they put the baby in your arms. And I looked down and I said, please, if he's nothing at all, let him just be a good person. And yeah, that's what he is. He's a good person.
My name is Ileana Gallagher. I am 33 years old. I currently live in Methuen, Massachusetts. I'm from Chicago originally, and Bill is my husband. Pretty much our first date, he just went into the story right away in his project and what him and his friends were working on, and I was naturally fascinated and intrigued right away because I liked art myself, and I liked to draw when I was younger, and I was very creative as well, so that was drawn onto me, and so we just kicked it off, and I just asked him a lot of questions about it and was so fascinated, and so it was just from then on, he was just, I think that helped pursue it a little bit for him as well. He has his comic book side and he has his at-home side, and definitely at home he's great. He works around the house. He's a jack of all trades. He can fix things, he can create things, he can build her play set, which he did. He's great with Iris. Great father, great husband. It's definitely really nice at home. It's kind of like our oasis, away from everything, away from work, away from, I guess, comic books for a while, and it's a good set. It's good being at home with him and the kid.
How does the new story differ from the old story? Okay, in general terms, I guess it's just a much tighter beginning where we're focusing on less characters and just putting the focus on Sam and Bronto and their initial meeting and how they became best buds.
I think we're putting a much stronger focus on the main and core characters. The first time around, I think we were maybe a little overzealous about trying to take all these different characters and all these different storylines that we had come up with over the years and trying to get them onto the page as quickly as possible. And it suffered as a result of that, and now we're kind of taking a step back and trying to be a little bit more methodical and trimmed down in terms of the story that we're telling and the characters that are involved, and trying to make it a little bit more personal and relatable, at least at first, before we start getting into some of the crazier stuff.
We started the story a little forward where we should have, and that's one of the things we're really focusing on this time around, is beginning where we should begin and establishing where the characters came from and how they come together.
It stinks because there'll be times in the middle of the day where we're working on some crazy website or like really in the thick of it, and then all of a sudden we'll have a light bulb moment of the story, and I'll run over, Ron, what do you think of this? And Ron's like, oh, okay. And he stops what he's doing, and then he says, okay, what? And then we deal with it, and then it's like we come up with this tangent, but we can't really go at it because we got to get back to work because we're on deadline or whatever. It's something that we know we can do it. It's just, again, it's the organizational skill of, and it is a lengthy project, and we're trying to, unfortunately this time around we have to hire out the artists because we don't have the time to sit and draw anymore. So we're going to be hiring people, we're going to be more reliant on other people than we were in the past. And we got to push, and that's the hard part, is pushing, finding that extra gear to get the things done in a timely manner. And we're going to push because we have big dreams, and we've been working on it for a long time. When I see other projects out there and other things, I see that's great, but like when I look back at what we could do and the potential of it, we know it's a great story and it's a giant money maker because of the legs that the story has and different things that we can do with it. So it's just a matter of us communicating it properly to get it out there.